Hey, Brett with TN Living. Thought we'd do a little garden walk around. Thought I'd invite you along. Well, first off, let's look at our pots. We've pulled the berry bushes and put some plants in. This really did want to grow. Well, except for this one. That was a volunteer tomato plant. We've had plenty for a long time, and it's finally started putting on a few tomatoes. But we've had one off of it. Of course, we got tomatoes and peppers that just really wouldn't grow for some reason. Of course, we got our blueberry bushes, and I've got some trees potted from come up in the property we bought. Won't put it back, but we had several pecan trees come up this year. Of course, there's a couple of pawpaws we're going to plant too, because you can't find them. Well, I can't get nobody to tell me where they're at here if there is any. The old man says there's pawpaw trees in this county, but ain't a single one of them will take you to them or won't tell you where they're at. I don't know if I don't know if they're here or not. But anyway, these are the eggplants. I planted them a good while ago. They're not growing. Of course, they're in the shade now. Of course, this is our kiwi. It's bushed out and done pretty good, but it really needs to be in the ground. We've taken care of it all summer trying to get it built up so we can plant it. And the grass has got in it. It's done really well now. It's finally made a comeback. Of course, this is our hybrid tomatoes there. They've about done. I still got tomatoes on it, and we still get green ones. I know, Bongo, I didn't put you in this yet. I think he wants to be into the video. He ain't getting to talk. Of course, we got a couple of bell peppers here. That was leftovers I didn't have room over here for. They've got a few peppers on them. Sunflowers, well, sunflowers are done. They finally gave up. Our Bodhi peppers, I grew them to make sure the seeds work and get some fresh seeds. Bodhi, not sure. Little round red peppers. They red for a reason. They got a little fire in them. They're not the hottest pepper in the world, but for their little size, they pack a pretty good wallop. These are our jalapenos. We picked 2 gallons of them last Monday, and they're ready for picking again. I can see some over there that's already good size. Of course, this is our bell peppers and this one sweet pepper here. Hurricane Laura did come through close, and the wind blew a little bit, but mainly it soaked the ground so bad that all my plants fell over. I never took time to stake the bell peppers, and well, of course, they're top heavy now with pepper. They're falling over left and right. Of course, our okra's still doing good. Some of it's starting to die out. Cindy wanted me to point these out. I left a few in here for growing seed. Stink bugs everywhere. That's probably what, 8-9 inch okra now, 1.5 inch diameter. This one's a little longer, not hardly big around, but I'm saving them for seed. This is a Clemson spineless. That's a red burgundy. It was the rougher one. This is the one that had a smoother outside coat, and it's a little smaller. But there's 2 different versions of it when they start out. One will start out smooth, one will start out kind of like the Clemson spineless. They both wind up being about the same when they're fully grown. I like the small ones. I don't think there's one out here. Well, here's one. It's a red burgundy, but it's got a little green hint, and it's real smooth on the outside. Or some of them will get really rough. I can squeeze up through here. My cantaloupe, they finally gave up. I noticed my watermelon on the other side is too. This is our other row of hybrid tomatoes. They're pretty well done too. There's just a few little tomatoes left. They put on a whole lot of tomatoes this year though. Of course, this is where our heirloom tomatoes was. I finally got them pulled. Got that out of the way. They completely died down. Another sunflower. Got 2 peanuts here. They got blooms, so I'll get a few seed out of them. That's about 3/4 of a row of red skin potatoes. Hoping for a good harvest. That is a new row of hybrid Jetstar tomatoes. They are just now putting the tomatoes on. I've got 2 wrapped tomatoes off of it so far. They're not the biggest tomatoes, but they're fresh and trying really hard. These was volunteer plants. 3 tomato plants that come up various places. 2 of them I'm not sure what they are, but this one I know exactly what it is. It's a Brad's Atomic. It's an heirloom. I've never had it to make a lot of tomatoes, but the ones it does make, when they're really ripe, they are some of the best tasting tomatoes. Edge of our jalapenos. This was a row of heirloom tomatoes. Was a row of Abe Lincolns. They're down a few and very little anything left. Just mostly green leaves. A few tomatoes down here. That was our sweet potato patch. You see one little chunk I left. I've got them all dug now. Compost pile. This is where the Buell corn was. You can see I got a few stalks left. I'm leaving a few in here for hopefully grow seed. I'm hoping these stalks will go ahead and mature out and something won't completely eat them up. Bugs everywhere. I tried not to spray anything this year. I tried not to use bug killer. This woolly mess is speckled butter peas. They are absolutely loaded with blooms and small pea pods. They haven't swelled out yet to make the pea, but see if I can find a limb that's got the pods on them. They are loaded down in there though. The pods haven't swelled out yet, but we're getting close. We're gonna have a really good harvest, looks like. All them blooms get the turn, it's gonna be outstanding. Of course, these are bush beans. No, I ain't got the grass pulled in these yet. I started on one end, I hadn't made it this far. But it rained for a week, so you can imagine what the grass is like now. These different color green here, they're a bush bean, but these are dragon tongue bush beans. And they're loaded with blooms right now. I was hoping to make seed out of it, but weather holds, I might be eating some dragon tongue beans. They look like they're doing alright. Haven't seen a bean pod yet, but getting awful close. This, of course, is our lemon starburst pepper. I got it from McGee Homestead. McGee Homestead Adventures. It's got, finally got a few little pods on it somewhere in there. Yeah, you can see a few in there. I had a hard time getting it to grow, had a hard time getting it to germinate. I just didn't have no luck this year. Let's go over to the other garden. Well, I guess I need to stop here and mention our carrots. Our carrots are getting close. The beets never did come up. I'm assuming I probably got them in too hot of weather. But they started popping up about 2 weeks ago when the weather broke. So I probably waited too late to plant my late crop of them. I'm thinking to plant some tomorrow, the fall winter version. They usually grow if the weather don't get too rough. I should have some by November or December. Usually the frost don't hurt them until it gets really cold and the ground freezes. So I'm gonna try again. Well, this was watermelon vines. When the weather dropped the other night, it's been down in the 50s last couple of nights, and right after that big long week of rain, watermelon plants have just turned ever since then. I don't know if the rain did it, the cool air did it, or what, but they have just absolutely died on me. This thing was full and rolling over with vines a little over a week ago. Now every watermelon is turned and the vines are gone. Another little watermelon. We got watermelon everywhere. Elderberry bush. Something got my last few elderberries. This is spaghetti squash. It's an heirloom spaghetti squash I bought from Baker Creek. I don't remember the exact which one. I think it's vegetable spaghetti squash. It seems to be doing alright, but the bugs is moving to it instead of the watermelon vines and the bean vines. I'm going to have to treat it. I don't want to, but I've got to do something because it ain't going to make nothing if I don't. Step over the fence here. Rabbit fence. Of course, these are stick beans, or it actually says pole beans. We all call them stick beans around here. These was the big kahuna beans. They did not like growing here. I don't know if I put them in a bad spot. They didn't take the heat well, because the humidity and heat here was really bad this year. But I probably put more beans in the ground than what I've got off of them. They technically was a loss. There's one or two on it, but it's not good. This is our other watermelon patch. I had plenty of plants, so I put them on each side. We're getting... There's another right one. That one's right. That one's not. Them four there I just pulled loose. They're right. We're still getting lots of watermelon. But for September, I guess we're doing pretty good. A lot of people's already shut their gardens down. And pay no attention to that bed. We never did get it cleaned out. That's supposed to be where our garlic goes, but we didn't get it done. Well, I about forgot about our cucumbers we have growing on the side of the house. We grew these in the shade. It was so hot this summer. And for the most part, they're doing good, except for where the bugs is getting the leaves down here at the bottom. They have wore the leaves out. We're getting a few cucumbers off of it. It ain't doing as good as it would have in the spring. But had a few little odd ends there that didn't turn out very well, but we had some good ones too. It's been a good experiment. Now, this triage area. Things needing repair, things being checked. Tires being flat, lawnmowers tore up. The old herb bed. Well, we still got basil, we still got onion chives, got rosemary. That's a cushaw melon that finally came up. I've got two squash I'm thinking put in this pot. And that's a blueberry bush I bought from the Tennessee nursery. I bought two of them. They sent two bare roots, and one of them was pitiful, and the other one I got it to live, and I've been cutting limbs off it and pushing them down the dirt, and I've got 3 or 4 now. So I took what didn't look very good and made something really good out of it, I hope. That's about it. Everything else is pretty well done for. Hush! Well, I hope you enjoyed our little video, our little walkthrough. It's still pretty warm here, but it's been dropping down really cool at night, so I'm hoping it'll help the garden last a little longer. We're still pressing, still pushing to get more food out of it, still canning. So y'all have a good week. God bless.